All right, man. So, what's your name and where you from?
My name Noah. I'm from Delaware area. I'll be a little bit of everywhere, Maryland, Lancaster area, Philadelphia, but majority Delaware though.
Okay. And you said you've done some time in Delaware prison, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. About 3 different stints.
Okay. And how was that, man? Before we get into anything else, let's talk a little bit about the prison. How was Delaware prison for you?
See, they got different divisions, as far as they jails go. Like they got we go by levels because we
Yeah.
are like a Commonwealth state, but they also got like VOP centers, just strictly for violation centers.
Really?
So I've been to every jail in Delaware. I'm not proud to say that or nothing, but that's something I experienced. I've been to every one in Delaware.
Yeah. You said they got prisons or centers specifically for people that violate?
Yeah, 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 and that shit is hell, bro. That shit is worse than the real jail for real, because it's more militant. Like it's that shit is crazy, bro. Like I can't even explain like how bad the circumstances are down there. Like like it'll be little shit. Like it's a lot of like road work. You do road work down there, but like
What do you mean
you
road
know
work? Like working on a road for real?
yeah, nah, like picking trash up,
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay,
things
okay.
of that nature. But like it'll be it's drugs in there. I seen more violence in the VOP centers than the actual prisons down here for real.
So let's say someone with violent crimes violated, they can go to these VOP centers even with violent charges.
Yeah, but see, it's two programs down here. It's one called the Key and the Crest. So like say you got a 3 year sentence. Classification is gonna put you through to both programs. They're gonna make you do the Key, then they're gonna make you do the Crest. But the Crest is at the violation center. So somebody could have did 18, 20 years and then be, transitioning over to the violation center for real.
Yeah.
But that shit is crazy down there. Like I get like I'll tell you like a little insert, stuff that happens down there. Like, all right, like you wake up at 5 and go to sleep at 8 o'clock. But if you get caught sleeping during the day, you gotta roll your mat up and hold it and walk through the hallways with it.
Yeah.
Or
One of the jails I was in, if they caught you sleeping in the day room,
yeah,
they would lock the cell and you wouldn't be allowed to go in there until lockdown time.
yeah. See, but it's more like a dorm setting. Like, all right, if you get caught talking at night, like one night we had got caught talking or whatever, and those like little soda tops, like
Like
the little
screw on?
the,
Oh,
all
okay,
right,
okay, yeah, yeah. The metal
top
ones.
from the soda can, right?
Yeah.
So you get caught talking, they'll shackle you to your celly, make you go outside and pick up soda can tops.
What? Will they just throw?
Individual,
They just throw them out?
yeah, it'll be like 5,000 of them. And if you get, like, you got to pick them up individually, one by one. But if you get caught, putting more than one in there, they throwing them all out again. But it was one time, we was down there and somebody got their ankle kicked and broke their ankle, and they ended up suing the state for it for real.
That's crazy, man. What
Like,
kind of damn? What the hell kind of program is that, man? I bet y'all's legs look
you
like
know,
Mike Tyson's legs.
look, right, bro. If you get in any trouble, right, you got to go outside and roll a wooden log.
So it's like a boot camp kind of therapy.
Yeah, but it's just strictly, for violations.
And the
Like,
COs, the COs are pretty tough, like drill instructors or something.
yeah, but see, it's more down in the sticks in Delaware. It's in they got one in Smyrna and they got one in Georgetown. But you'll go to the one all the way down in Georgetown, um, if you got the Crestadil, and that's like a 6 month program.
Okay, that
That's
sounds pretty
shit is
intense,
wild.
man.
Yeah, that shit is crazy.
So you can't talk after 8 o'clock in this program.
Nah,
And how old were you when you first got locked up, man?
My first time I got incarcerated, I was 18.
And
I was eight.
how was that? Did you have any problems when you first went in?
See, I didn't have no face tats at the time. I ain't have like no tats or nothing. So, the first runaround was pretty cool, but like my first case, I had a open plea. I had a burglary charge. You know, basically down here you can get like 1 to 8. And basically I ended up getting 2 off of it.
How was the first initial time going in? Were people giving you a hard time or anything? 'Cause I know when I first went in, a few cats were trying to give me a hard time.
Nah, see, it's not. I mean, like for real, bro. Like I'm pretty popular down here. Like I know a lot of different people, from a lot of different things, like sports and getting in trouble when I was a juvenile or just like I was homeless, when I was younger. So I moved around a lot, and I met a lot of different people, through my walk of life. So going to jail, those societies go hand in hand for real. Being homeless and jail. So I knew majority of the people there, but you know, it was a lot of adjusting I had to get used to, because I never had gotten in trouble as a juvenile. Well, I never did any time as a juvenile. So like it was a lot of different things I had to get accustomed to, but my uncle had been down for 20 years. So when I had went in, basically like all the old heads, knew my uncle and, would kind of school me to, what was what. I seen a lot of dudes come in, you know, my age, no facial hair, no muscles, skinny as hell. One of my friends I went to school with, I won't mention his name or nothing, but he ended up, getting raped. So like it was a lot of different ways you had to move in there, to come accustomed to, it's not gangs down here. Like we don't have gangs. Like, it was, people from other states and stuff that was in gangs, but that's not like the majority thing, going on up here. But just getting used to, the basic prison politics, when you take a shit, put the toilet paper on the window and you know what I'm saying? Just basic stuff that, when you come into prison that you got to learn for real.
Yeah, yeah. That's crazy. Delaware ain't got no gangs in lockup?
Nah, bro. Like Philly don't got gangs either for real. Philly is more blocks. You know what I mean? Like Delaware is neighborhoods. Like you'll be from east side or west side or north side. And like for real, like, Wilmington is like the 7th most dangerous city in America, based off of population.
Yeah.
So like it's not gangs, it's neighborhoods.
That's wild as hell, man.
Yeah, I mean I ran into, a few Bloods, a few DMIs, a few what is it, Black Gorilla Family.
Yeah.
I ran because we real close to Baltimore too.
Yeah.
So, I ran into gangs, but it wasn't ran like that. It was more or less where you was from, your neighborhood.
Yeah, I understand. And how did you fit in when you first went in, man? What was some of the things you say you knew some people? Is that how you pretty much fit in?
Yeah, I was cool, man. You know what I'm saying? Like my whole demeanor is kind of laid back for real. But I ain't really have, too many problems for real. Like, it was, a fight here and there or, a discrepancy or, an argument or, you know what I'm saying? Just basic, alpha male shit.
Yeah.
Like everybody wants to prove a point, a pissing contest basically.
Yeah.
But like I was all right. I was solid. Like I'm a solid individual anyway.
Yeah. And did you ever get any tats in the penitentiary?
I got a pick.
Oh,
I got
stick
2
and
picks.
poke?
Yeah, them shits hurt.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do, boy. Them things hurt, man.
Look, I got this picked right here. And they had hit something in my eye and it gave me a black eye for like 2 weeks.
Oh, they probably hit some kind of nerve or something.
Yeah, they hit a nerve in my eye and it blacked my eye for like 2 weeks.
Or broke a vein. It could have broke a vein too. What is that, 5-point star, man? I know that jump probably gets you into some stuff every now and then.
Yeah. That's how I ended up getting to my first fight for real. Cause
In
somebody came
lockup?
up. Yeah, somebody came up to me and thought, I was blood. But I
Hold on,
told you,
so you got the stick, you got the pluck done in jail, and after you got it done, someone ran up on you and was kind of
they was basically asking me like, what they say, east side. But like, I guess, that's a blood terminology. You know what I'm saying? But
okay,
like, I'm not too familiar with that. The 5 point star is the symbol of your body. If you stretch your arms and your legs out, that makes a star.
okay,
So that's a symbol for life and embodiment. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like a gang symbol for real, but me not knowing and being, young and naive to, gang politics, I didn't know, that was a 5 point star, that was going to get me in some shit. And
yeah,
then to make it worse, I got a money sign on the other side, but that's my son's last name is Money.
yeah,
So they thought it was sex, money, murder.
yeah, yeah, man. That's crazy. Did and the dude that did it wasn't like, bro, this is some gang stuff, man.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh, he was
Basically, yeah, he was on some gang shit. He was a blood.
the
But
guy.
basically,
I'm talking about the guy who did the tattoo. He wasn't like, hey, bro, I don't know if you should get this because it's like a
nah, nah, nah. He ain't like he ain't care for real. You know what I'm saying? I gave him like maybe like 5 or 6 soups or something like that. He was just hungry. You know what I mean? He didn't give a about what I had going on for real.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. How did the face tats feel, man? I never got any. They hurt kind of bad. What you got up here?
Um,
What are those?
but
Got them
well,
in a shop?
this my son last name. His last name is Money, and then this say misunderstood basically. But you like the places that you touch the most hurt the least. So you touch your face about 2,000 times a day.
Yeah.
So the like when
I
everybody,
never heard that saying. That makes sense though.
yeah, the places that you touch the most hurt the least for real.
Yeah. Look, I knew a guy in lockup, man. His nickname was Moneymaker. His
Yeah,
and I'm like, damn, man. I said, all of a sudden, and he was doing tattoos on me too. And all of a sudden, they say Moneymaker to the booth on the intercom. I'm like, damn, dude, they're calling you by your street name.
yeah.
And they're like, he's like, no, man, that's my last name. His last name was Moneymaker, man. I'll
Yeah,
never
when I
forget that
tell
as long
when
as
I
I
tell
live.
when I tell people my son's last name is Money, they don't believe that shit.
That's crazy, man. That's a cool last name, though.
Yeah, it
You
is.
know what I mean? But so you still on papers or anything?
Nah, I ain't been in trouble in a real long time, man. Like, like when I came home, like I started to separate myself from a lot of different people. After that bid, I went back to jail, maybe 5, 6 different times. I mean, like now my last bid was 2011.
Yeah.
2011.
That's good, man. You've been out for a while, man.
Yeah, that was my last bid.
That's good. And you got a family now and stuff. You got kids, you said?
Yeah, yeah, I got three. I got three and I got a girl, My oldest son a boxer for real. So
Oh yeah, that's right. How old's your son? You say he's been boxing?
yeah, yeah, he's real good too.
Yeah.
Um I got a 15-year-old, a 5-year-old, and an 18, well, he's almost like 20 months now.
Okay, that's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Got going young, man. You got going young. You got all boys too. I don't know which one's gonna be worse, me having all girls or you having all boys. See,
Nah,
you gotta worry about other things there's different things you gotta worry about with, guys and girls. It's
but see, I think like if you can, capitalize off your experiences and teach them to your kids, the deter them from making them same mistakes or going that same route, then you won out of the whole situation. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, and it's easier with boys because you know how to like see jail and prisons and institutions taught you how to conduct yourself as a man because you was raised there. Just as I was. Well, I'm speaking for myself. I was raised there. Like I didn't stop getting out of trouble until I was like, 27. So like it taught me how to be a man, so I can pass those same, perspectives and experiences down to my kids.
yeah. Now that's true. That's true, man. You can definitely learn a lot by going to the penitentiary, especially with respect, principles, and stuff like that. But there's still some cats, man. It's like they just don't grow up. You know what I mean? They'll be 50 years old still trying to hang with the young cats. You know, it's crazy seeing stuff like that. And then they always go back to prison. It's like
Yeah,
a revolving door.
I call them the old fool
Yeah,
that never
old fool.
got wiser with age.
Yeah, that's a good term. I like that.
Like as a man, you have to learn to put the childish things away, and like if you don't grow up and you don't like evolve, then you end up just basically running on the treadmill.
Yeah, stagnant.
Yeah, definitely, man. Of course.
What would you say is the number one thing you learned in prison, man?
I learned patience.
That's a good quality.
Yeah, I learned a lot of patience. Like, I mean, like, not to get, in the specifics or anything, but like, my first case, I told you I was homeless and what background I came from. So, by not being patient and listening to somebody, I ran to somebody's house and took about like $50,000 for real.
Yeah.
But
that's a lick.
Yeah, that was definitely a lick. But it's crazy. I still pay it back to this day. Like I owe restitution for it.
Yeah.
So, like I wasn't patient at the time because,
you were convicted of it.
Yeah, I was convicted of it.
Well, before you get into it, what the hell did you spend $50,000? How'd you spend all that, man?
Yo, what's crazy? Look. Yo, look. On some shit, man, like, I was a child, so I thought as a child for real.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like the movies, you know what I mean? Like, all right, you know how somebody crack a safe open? Like, it was a little serious safe. I already did time for it, so I could talk about it.
Yeah, you're good, you're good, yeah.
So, it wasn't like, the movies and you crack a safe open and money just comes falling out of it. Like, I cracked the safe and it was like legal documents in there and new pictures because this was 2004 when it happened. Like It was like Polaroid pictures. It was Polaroid pictures.
Dang, he was hiding the freaky janks in there.
Yeah, look, freak ass old head. You hear me?
Oh man, that's a story there, boy.
So when I cracked the safe open, it was just documents in there, and me and my homie running through it. And the first envelope, man, I swear, I picked up an envelope. It had 18,000 in red marker. I stuffed it down my pants from the rip. Now,
did you tell your homeboy?
Nah, I was shiesty back then, man.
I knew it. I knew. Look. You're talking to an ex-thief, all right?
Yeah, but see.
I knew that you didn't tell him, because you said you stuffed in your pants immediately.
Yeah. I mean, like, yo, listen, right? That was my survival, instinct for real. I was homeless, man. Like, I lived on the streets for so many years that, I only had traits of criminals and murders and drug dealers and the people around me. So like, I didn't have any other, example of doing the right thing.
Yeah. So
like I grew to those, having those traits. But I only said that story, based off of patience because, all right, I got that 50,000. We blew it. I ended up going up South Street. Anybody, from the tri-state of Delaware, Chester, Philly, they know what South Street is. I ended up going up there and getting a mink and all types of different crazy throwbacks. This one that was popping. Throwbacks and
so you were homeless and you were buying some minks, man.
No. I had an apartment. I had 3 cars at the time. I didn't even need this lick.
Okay.
I didn't even need this lick. But I gave all my homeboys like $1,000 a piece. But I ended up bumping into, a situation when I went up there, when I went up to Philly and was spending all that money, I ended up running into a plug. But I only said, that story based off of patience because, all right, I got $50,000. But if you, all right, all the time that I did based off that case, going back and forth to jail, and the original time that I did, I could have made that same $50,000 working at McDonald's and been able to keep it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it gives me a different perspective on, doing bullshit and not having patience behind it and seeing, the repercussions of what happens behind that for real. And honestly, like, now I wouldn't take $5 from somebody because it's the whole fact of having integrity, bro. You feel me? It's being honest while nobody's watching you. You know what I'm saying? And those are the things that get you blessed for real.
Yeah, for sure, man. You sound just like me. When you grow up, man, I swear, that's why I say, sometimes I feel as though when people get sentenced to life because they committed a crime when they're 15, 16, they should get a lot of time based on the situation. But life, man, people change so much from, 15, 16, 17, 18 to 30 and up. I mean, you are like a totally different person. I would
Yeah,
never.
of course.
I was
Because they say,
I was the grimiest dude, and all my homeboys and the people that knew me would tell you I was the grimiest
you
cat
you
around,
you
bro.
look a little grimy.
Yeah, I was grimy, bro. And now I can't even imagine doing any of the grimy stuff that I did back then, man. It's like
Yeah, but
I
see,
hate myself from back then. You know what I mean?
it's no real reason to hate yourself, bro, because you know the definition of insanity is repeating the same thing and expecting a different result.
Yeah,
So it taught you, that you wasn't insane and that you had a real sound mind for real because you're not doing those same things anymore. And it taught you that, ultimately what that path is going to lead you down for real.
yeah. Well, that's a crazy story, man. Well, let me take it back. When you're homeless, man, because I find this interesting because, when you're homeless, you were at the bottom of the barrel, man. And it's like, it's rough, man. And my heart goes out to anybody that's homeless, man. I hope everything turns out for them. But when you're a homeless, what were you doing to survive? Like, where were you staying at? Were you staying at homeboys' houses, or were you actually living in the streets? If you're living in the streets, like, where did you go to sleep and stuff like that?
Um, I was a little bit of everywhere, man. Like I was bouncing around, house to house, like but you could wear your welcome out real fast,
Yeah,
especially when you 15, 16, and you don't have no real income coming in.
yeah,
And you don't really know how to make money, based off of, you was just living with your parents 6 months ago for real.
yeah,
So I was doing a lot of bouncing around, um, going homeboy to homeboy crib, wearing my welcome out, doing some bullshit. And then, it got to the point where like me and my brother, we would have to go to the gas station and fill the tank up, so we could have heat all night to keep the car on.
yeah,
I didn't slept in, abandoned houses and, anywhere, I could go to sleep at for real that I felt was safe for real.
yeah,
Like, it was crazy because like, going to jail was the first time, I had a room to myself, for the past, maybe 5 years.
yeah.
And like now that I look back at it as an adult, you know what I'm saying? That's just craziness. Like that the whole, being unstable, factor really, determined, the things that I was willing and wasn't willing to do at the time for real.
Yeah. I know when I first went to jail and then prison, when I was on the streets, I was still living with my parents. I was 17 years old, still living with my parents. Even though I was staying the night at girls' houses like every other night and my homeboys, whatever. But where I reside, where I called home, was my parents. And I wanted to
Right.
get the hell out of there, man. That's why I stayed all these other places all the time, because I didn't want to live there no more. I wanted to be a
Yeah.
man. And when I stepped foot in jail and prison and got the sway of things, I ain't gonna lie, man. It was like my first home, And it was like, okay, this, even though I'm in prison, I have a sense of responsibility here. You know what I mean? Like, this is my home, my first home
Yeah.
away from home. So it's weird, but it does give you a sense of responsibility, man. Especially when you go in young, because when you're young, you're not really being responsible. You know what I mean? Some people are, but the most individuals going at that age, they're still living with their parents. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think, everything comes full circle for real.
Yeah,
Based off me being homeless for real, I'm I'm trying to fix up these foreclosed homes and eventually make it a transition home for kids getting out of juvenile detention centers.
that's what's
So
up, man.
yeah, I mean, I think it's four essential aspects you need to be successful. Um, God, resources, credentials, work ethic. And based off of my experiences and the things that I've been through, you know, when I was coming home, like when you got felonies, basically the only job that you can get is damn near construction or a warehouse.
Yeah,
So I was, building those resources, by working construction jobs and doing all that little bullshit and building up credentials the whole time. But, I was asking God to guide me through, the other situations that I had going on in my life at the time. But everything comes full circle for real because now, I'm going to be able to help somebody and detour somebody from making them same mistakes I made, based off of not having any stability at the time.
that's what's up, man. That's what's up. Doing something positive as hell, man.
I ain't want to get on here and like glorify jail or prison or go through a bunch of war stories and stuff like that because everybody got them. You
Everybody
already know
has
what.
them, man. People do
Yeah,
love to hear them, but everyone does have them, and that's not what makes you a man. You know what I mean?
yeah, but you already know what it's hitting for when you walk through those doors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
That's just the
you
shit that
already
comes
know.
with it, man.
Yeah, it's just shit to come with it. And I wasn't going to get on here and tell gladiator stories or but it was some wild shit I seen in there, and it was some shit that changed my perspective on the way I wanted to live my life. But I was going back and forth to jail, based off stability because down here, like you got level 3 probation, and you'll have to go in the house at 8 o'clock,
Yeah.
and if like based off your curfew, if you don't got a job, and if you're not in the house, they come check you going back to jail.
Yeah. See, people that haven't really been through dangerous situations in prison, they love to hear war stories. I've seen crazy stuff, and honestly, I mean, I've seen some horrible things, man, and there ain't too much more that I could see that could be any worse. So when I hear horror stories, I know when I have people on here talking about stuff like that, war stories and stuff, it's mainly for my viewers because I know that they love
Right.
it. But at the same time, I don't really care for it. I don't really
Yeah.
care for it. I care for what you're doing now. I care for if you're stepping your game up, making more money, and making a
Yeah.
name for yourself as a ex felon. You know what I mean? Let me ask you one thing before we go, and before you want to say anything to anybody out there. What do you think? Since we were talking about war stories, what do you think was the craziest thing that you've seen in prison or jail?
Oh man. Oh, I got. Hold on, I got one for you. I got one for you. Um, it's a Bobby number 2.
Don't
Yeah,
don't say it, man. Another Bobby, bro.
yeah. It was a Bobby number 2, man.
Oh
But
God.
but it hurt me, man, because it was a really close friend of mine. You know what I
Oh
mean?
man.
Yeah, like we had went to school together. Um, I had previous dealings with, people in his family. I won't mention because, people connect the dots together for real. Basically, what had happened was, like it's a
And this
couple
was
things.
in lockup.
Yeah, it's a couple things you shouldn't indulge in jail, man. And gambling is one of the main things that you shouldn't indulge in for real, man. That can get you in a world of shit. Especially, you don't have those resources to, just reach out and hit your ATM and pay that shit off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, somebody will get you in a debt and, they won't want currency in exchange for it. They're going to want a sexual favor for real, or they're going to want something, that benefits them in some type way.
Mhm.
So, my homie, he's really good at basketball for real good basketball player. This dude, he was kind of like the best on the compound for real as far as basketball goes. And you know, I guess my man, wanted to play him 1-on-1 for money. And he comes to me like, yo, man, if I lose, you got a couple dollars to spot me. I'm like, bro, like, I don't even think you should indulge in that for real. I don't think, that's the twist that you wanna get in here for real. So, he plays the dude 1-on-1, but he's fresh off the streets. We on a transition pod, like coming from, it's two sides of the jail. It's the old side and the new side. Like a new side of the jail that they built, but it'd be people over there with like up to 8 years. But everybody like on the other side is like the county side, like everybody waiting to get sentenced.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so my man, fresh off the streets, he ends up playing dude, and he loses. He loses like 2-3 games in a row, and
He was probably trying to get some get back, and he didn't have
yeah,
the money.
yeah. But see, dude was in tip top shape. They said he was a boxer on the street. So whatever.
Well, the dude that he was playing.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And with boxing, you gotta run, maybe 10 miles a day. I be seeing my son do it, with his boxing regimen and all that. So, he gets in a debt with him, and basically he couldn't pay the debt. So what he did was, it was like, he had a little bit of pool over there. Like you could holler at the guard and be like, yo, I want, X, Y, and Z moved into my cell. So he couldn't pay the debt. He got homie moved in the cell, but he was like swindling him, basically telling him like, I'm only getting you moved in here, so you don't, move to a different pod or, try to check in or sign in. And he gets him in the cell and rapes him. I mean, like, those was one of the, most horrific, sounds I've ever heard in my life.
Oh, that's how y'all knew that he was getting raped?
Yeah, man. Over there on the new side, I think it's like 18 cells max. You know what I mean? So it's not a huge, tier. So it's kind of closed in. You know what I'm saying? It was probably 10:30 at night. I'm watching my TV and all like he's like, a couple cells down from me. So you can hear it through the vent, like him screaming, like, and like, those sounds will never leave your head for real, man. Like,
Yeah.
those, like, and basically, after that, like, he wasn't allowed to go to commissary no more. You know what I mean? Like, the only
Oh,
thing
so the COs never found out, never pulled him out?
nah, he continued to let it happen. And like, once you get that jacket in jail, bro, like you can't shake it. Like wherever you go, that's what you're gonna be deemed as.
Yeah.
So, that was, the rest of his time, bro. Like, he was getting passed around for real.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, that was like one of the worst things I seen, man, because it was like, you never know, like, somebody's inner strength for real. Like, everybody puts a facade on, like, we hard as nails, or we this tough guy, or we this alpha male, or whatever you want to call it, bro. You feel me? But everybody has a vulnerability, and everybody has a breaking point. And I seen a lot of dudes' vulnerabilities and breaking points in there, as far as mentally. And his was, he wasn't strong enough to defend himself against somebody, that had more power than him at the time. I see homie on Facebook, he got a girl and kids and all that, but
Yeah.
I don't know, like, I see him in passing sometimes, at the mall or something like that, but like, he up mentally, man.
Yeah. Well, man, look, I appreciate you coming on. Is there any shout outs you like to give? Any kind of social media you have or business, whatever it is? You got anything you got to say before we go?
Yeah, with the clothing line, it's LLC that started, all that, a business accountant or whatever. But
So you got a website or something?
it's getting put together for real.
Okay.
Because I had a situation on the table to be a creative director at Puma, the sneaker company.
Damn.
Yeah. So like I'm really kind of sharp at it. I ain't trying to toot my own horn or nothing, but I'm pretty good at it.
Ain't nothing wrong with tooting your own horn if you know you're good at it.
Yeah, but my Instagram is No Waves Noah, NOWAVES Noah. Basically you could just reach me on there. Yeah, I mean, but like honestly, bro, like I think your message is a little bit different than
It is,
just
man.
prison world.
It is, and I wasn't thinking like that in the beginning, but now, man, it's turned into some inspirational stuff, and
Yeah, because I've been
that's
around since we had like 8,000 subscribers.
that's what's up, man. I appreciate it all.
So like I've been checking in on you, seeing what you got going on, man, and you like definitely turning it up, bro.
I appreciate that, man. I'm gonna
Yep.
pin your Instagram in the comments section and description of the video.
Okay.
And look, man, just keep grinding, keep doing what you're doing. You've been out of trouble for a long time. Teach those kids the ropes, and
That's my ultimate goal, though, man. But I appreciate your platform and everything you got going on, man, and just allowing me and giving me a chance to speak and articulate my message and what I want to get across.
that's what's up, man. I
Thanks, man.
appreciate you, man. Salute to you, and you have a great Memorial Day weekend. All right, buddy.
You too, man.
All right, dog. Be easy.